Salvation for me essentially means that you have realized the illusion of your mind, you have defeated the adversary, you have realized the divine within you and outside of yourself. You've realized that you're not going to die in spirit. You're not going to die at all, and you can't die, that you are quantum immortal. You've realized that there are spiritual forces, there are spirits, there are entities. You are protected. You get warnings ahead of time. You can see the future, maybe. You're protected by angels, you're protected by spirits and God. And it also means that you are no longer depressed. You are no longer sad. You're no longer divided or separated. You are essentially one with everything. And it's a gradual process. So depending on where you are, it's like you are either down there or you're here or you're up here. So it's a gradual process because you don't get the salvation in one go. So it's like you jump into the water, splash some water. Here's a name. Here's an identity. Yeah, you're Christian now. You're Catholic. You're saved. Like, it's not like that. It's more. It's a gradual process where you're starting out from an ignorant perspective in darkness, and then the adversary is like controlling your life. You are a slave to your own thoughts, your own desires, your own temptations, and you don't even think about it because you're just living life. They just eventually you realize like, oh, but I'm suffering. I am in pain. I am burning in the lake of fire. I'm actually really uncomfortable. And then from that moment, when you feel the pain, you make a decision. It's like, I am going to take a pill because the doctor ordained it, or I'm going to read a book and I'm going to read about people in the past. I'm going to read about people who have suffered from the same thing as I've suffered from, the separation from God, the loneliness, the sadness. And then slowly your heart opens up, your mind opens up, and then you realize, oh, the adversary lives rent-free inside my head. And so you say, no. He says, do what I say. You say, no. Do what I say. No. Go do this. Nope. You'll be happier. You won't die. You won't. Just eat the fruit. Just take the fruit just like Eve did. Just do it the thing. And you're just like, no, you have no power over me. At that moment, that's your salvation. That's you being saved. And then it's like when you realize, as I said earlier, like we're eternal, we'll live forever, we'll come back, we'll be here together again, we will meet in heaven, we'll meet here in hell. Then you're no longer afraid. You develop like a fearlessness, and at the same time you have a healthy fear of God. You know that you don't want to hurt people because God will punish you. And if God doesn't do it, then those people will punish you through revenge and envy and pride and jealousy and all these things. So the salvation comes gradually by you studying, by you being curious. But sadly, it comes it comes from a state of suffering. You have to be in pain before you can be relieved of that pain. You have to suffer before you can stop suffering. And so if you're going through a lot in your life, that means that you are ready for a change. You're ready to open your eyes and just accept it, that you are part of something greater. And the people who are not part of it, they're not saved. They don't have a salvation, and they are creating suffering for themselves and others. The way I interpret Revelation is a stark warning, or as I said in the previous video, an instruction manual. But it's a stark warning that as we go away from spirituality, as we do away with moral and ethic things, and those lines are blurred, we are stepping closer and closer into the apocalypse, our own destruction, our own doom. We destroy our forests, we destroy the rivers, we destroy our farms with GMO seeds, we spray chemicals in the air to block out the sun and change the weather. we are destroying ourselves, because if you knew that God exists and you knew that we are all one, then you wouldn't want to harm your neighbor. You would want to love your neighbor. So that's the whole premise. The whole law stems from the idea that we're one and therefore you should love your neighbor. But Bill Gates says, I'm going to spray beryllium and aluminum everywhere. And the bees are slowly dying. And then when the bees die, there's nothing to pollinate the flowers. And when the flowers don't get pollinated, there's no seeds. There's nothing growing. And then it will look like Interstellar. We'll be eating corn because corn is the only thing left that we can grow without pollination, and so and so. And so I think that Revelation is a stark warning of what happens when we abandon divine principles. When we abandon the truth, when we abandon God, we are left to fight for our own. And so the only way to take a step back is to essentially say no to evil. Don't allow people to be abused. Don't allow people to be sexually raped and abused. Don't allow murder and harming people. You are allowed to defend yourself. You are allowed to neutralize a threat and defend yourself, but you don't have to instigate. You don't have to offend. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to go around punching people, because what are you really punching but yourself? Another version of yourself, another shard of God, another spirit of God. And so, as we're coming back into truth, as we're coming back into the realization that Christ is within you and you are on a path towards Christ consciousness, and you're going to walk in his footsteps, not because you want to, but because you need to do so, because that is the salvation that you're looking for, that you need, that you want. And then you will live in peace. You will be at peace, honestly. When you realize that the world is an illusion, and that illusion is controlled by the devil, and that devil lives rent-free inside the minds of everyone, then you realize that you don't have to be like that. You can be a real person. You can be kind. You can be considerate. You can respect people. You can say truth. You can speak truth. You can hear truth. You can be truth. And then the world changes one by one. Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. That's been with me for like 20 years. I've changed thousands of people. I've touched their hearts. I've touched their minds. I've changed them, and I've helped them change. I've seen people go from a sad, dark, depressed state into a beautiful, radiating light of a wonderful, happy person. And that's the reward. That's why I do this. I don't care about money. I don't care about fame. I care about their transformation. When they go from sad to happy, when they go from meaningless to purposeful, when they change their job or their career into something that actually they want to do, something that will help them develop and expand and grow as a person, that's the reward right there. Being a doctor, healing people's hearts, that's the reward right there. So the job is the job, the work is the work, it's the great work. I will keep doing it for the rest of my life. I will always help people, I will always be kind, I will always bring people up. Even if I myself suffer, even if I'm in pain, even if I'm going through a lot of stuff because of it, I don't care, I will still help people. The devil has tried to tell me not to help people. And I say, bring more. And he says, no, stop helping people. I say, bring more, you stupid mother punk. You know what I'm saying? Like, bring more. I will heal them. I will do it all. Because all he does is push people down and isolate them and make them sad and make them dependent. So yeah, I will keep doing what I'm doing. I will save this world if I have to. We're in Revelation right now, and that's what it is. I think that the Antichrist is essentially when the adversary lives rent-free inside someone's head. And it's essentially everyone that denies the teachings of Isho and other holy men. By selfish opinion and selfish esteem, they deny the teachings and say, I'm not like him. I'm not one with him. I'm not one with God. I am me. I am an individual. I am a person. I am separated from all that is. I'm separated from the beautiful. I'm separated from the ocean and nature and the animals. I'm separated from myself. I am separated from everything. That is what the Antichrist is. And then it has different grades, it has different levels. So you can be basic and be, young and ignorant and not know. And then as you grow older, you can make a choice. Are you going to climb Jacob's ladder, or are you going to fall down the ladder? Are you rising up, or are you falling? That's a choice that we make every day when we wake up. But then there are certain people who study and worship and live in what people call Satanism, which is the worship of self, the worship of the ego, worship of materialism, worship of the kingdom, worship of money. And those people are top level Antichrist, because they don't care about God, and so they don't care about other people. You are surrounded by people that you are one with, but you are so ignorant that you choose to ignore that teaching. So you choose to separate yourself from the oneness of everything. And then you become the Antichrist, you become the adversary, you become the devil in physical form. And it's like they say, when you cross the river from the living to the dead, you can't bring with you your possessions, your money, your fame, your status. And so there are these people, as they go into the water, they're trying to bring the coins with them over to the other side, right? And that these people are the Antichrist. They have their coins. Oh, but I'm a rich person. I lived a good life. I want to bring it with me. I don't want to die. I have all this materialism, and God says you got to leave that behind, my man. And they're like, no, no, no. I'm gonna hold on to it. I'm gonna bring it over, and they can't, right? And so they are not one, but they are one with everything. But they don't believe that. They don't think so. And so their actions show their fruit of their labor. They essentially invade countries. They kill people. They maim people. They hurt people. They steal from people. They lie. They have ego boundaries. They will lie, steal, and cheat to protect their own ego boundaries. These people are deluded. They are separated from the good of all things. And I pray for those people. And when I meet them in real life, sometimes God will show me a vision of what happens to those people. And I say to God, please, mercy, like, don't do it. Please, like, it's horrible. Like, you can't do this. And he's like, you gotta let me do this. And I'm like, no. I'm just like, no, but he did it to himself. And it's horrible. These people are digging their own graves, and they don't even know it. And for many future generations, if people like Bill Gates and his friends just continue to work like this, they will dig a grave for all of us, and we will be reborn into that grave, and we will suffer in that, and we will have no liberties, no freedoms, no spiritual freedoms. We won't be able to worship God. We won't be able to believe in Christ. We're not allowed to do those things anymore. It's offensive to those people and to their satanic ideology, and these people are the Antichrist. And so at that point, it's like they don't even know how they're going to be punished in the future for what they're doing, because they're so selfish. And so when they come back here to earth later, after they're done living, they're going to be on the receiving end of that greed that they created, of that suffering they created. And so, yeah, the Antichrist is out there, and the Antichrist is up here, hiding behind your thoughts, pretending to be you, pretending to think for you. And if you believe in that voice, if you believe in that, then you will fall for it and you will become part of its group. My actual mission is to restore the kingdom, to bring heaven here, because we are heading towards hell. we are day by day losing everything that makes us holy and divine. And eventually, at some point, if this continues, it will be illegal to practice spirituality, because science has said that experts agree that because of a study, God doesn't exist, or because science says that so and so. And at that point, it's going to be illegal to practice religion. It's going to be illegal to practice spirituality. And I don't agree with religion fully either. I don't believe that certain acts that we do bring us towards God in certain ceremonial kind of situations. I think it is, what you eat goes in and what comes out defiles you. Your deeds and your actions and your work and what you give to other people, that is your spirituality. So it's not just about going to a church and not going to a church, reading a book and not reading a book. I think it's your thoughts becomes your habits becomes your actions becomes your speech becomes your character becomes your destiny. And so you have to start up here and you have to work all the way down and then up again and then out of your mouth and then in again and then up, because otherwise you won't be spiritual. You'll say to yourself, "Oh, I went to so and so this and I watched this preacher and he was talking about God and I feel so spiritual now. I feel like, I've really done it." But you're not saved. You have no salvation. You're not in bliss. It's all made up by your brain. The devil is deluding you inside your head. So if you're still an evil person and you still do selfish acts towards yourself and others, it doesn't matter how spiritual you are just deluded. And so the mission and the plan to complete it is essentially to do the great work, the magnum opus, every day. I will continue doing this for the rest of my life. I don't care about what you think. I don't care about what people think. I care about what God think about me. I care about, having a healthy fear of God, that if I harm people around me, He's going to punish me. If I do bad things, I'm going to punish myself. And so I always strive to be a good person. Every day I wake up, I think, who am I going to help today? Who am I going to raise up to the divine today? Who am I going to bring out of darkness today? Last year, I met a young man from Sweden, and he was on the brink of suicide. And I sat down and I talked to him, and I just told him about the devil in the mind. I told him about the voices, that he doesn't have to believe in the voices, that he can essentially take a stance against it. And then he realized how much power he had over the devil. He realized, oh, it's not me. I'm not the adversary. I'm me and he is he. So he was no longer suicidal. Now he's happy. Now he has a life again. I brought him out of darkness, and I will do it again and again.